Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Proficiency Bonus. This is Delve and Dash, episode number 26. We want to thank you guys so much for joining us tonight, and we're going to jump head first into this adventure. And I must apologize. I thought that I uploaded last week's episode onto YouTube, and tisk. I guess I did that while I was dreaming or asleep or something like that, because for some reason when I checked, I don't think the episode is up on YouTube, and that's my bad. So I'll make sure to get last week's episode put up there as soon as possible, so you guys can go back and watch, because a lot of things happened last episode to get us to here. So we're going to, first of all, thank Little Dragon Corp for their sponsorship of our programming. So if you want to go ahead and type in !Little Dragon in the chat, you can get a quick link to their website where you can order some awesome dice and other RPG gear. They also have offered us a coupon code. If you type in bonus during checkout, you will get a 10% off of your whole order with Little Dragon Corp. So thank you, Little Dragon Corp. We love you, we appreciate you, and thank you so much. Ani, I think you have some of your Little Dragon Corp dice with you. Why don't you show those babies off for everybody? Oh, those are so
got the June birthstone.
Nice. Those are pretty. The numbers are really big on them too. Like,
yeah, they're obviously a little smaller on the D20, but they still show up really well. And
cool.
We'll see how well they roll. I can report in at the end. See if they do well.
Yes, Dynamite, we do miss Vix already. It's going to be a different episode, as we're hopefully going to unveil some new heroes to our adventure tonight. So, but first, on tonight's episode, we are going to start with our friend Franklin, as he is being escorted by several members of the Hand of Yartar, including an elf woman with straight dark hair, who seemed to be not too impressed with our turtle friend's little episode in the sewer. And despite the turtles, Franklin's attempts to try to figure out ways that I believe the grasping vines was trying to find a way that he could get away from this whole thing. It seems that he's being escorted.
Not wanting to be surrounded.
That's true. Yeah. So, Franklin, you are being escorted through the sewers. I want you to go ahead and make an intelligence check right off the bat for us, as you're being led through these dark sewers.
Starting off strong with a natural 1.
A natural 1. Oh, that's not too good. You probably need to get rid of those dice.
Starting out strong.
Get rid of the dice.
They were forged in fire. Go ahead and just throw them into the volcano. Just get rid of them. So you have no clue. You're just being weaved through the. You can't really see very well. You don't have dark vision. You just know that you're making a lot of left turns, then a lot of right turns, then another left, then another right. It almost just feels like you're just traveling in circles over an extended amount of time with this group. Then eventually they come to a stop, and the elven woman kind of stands and turns around and gestures to a couple of the women, just kind of gives a head nod towards the wall, and you watch as the first two of the ladies disappear into the wall, and they just basically just walk right through the wall. And then she kind of looks at you and gestures towards you. Your turn.
How many other people are going to be going behind me if I go now?
Looks like there were 7 total, so there are 4 others behind you, including Katana, the one that you had tied up a few episodes ago.
I look at her and I gesture her forward, saying, "I'm not going to be surrounded."
Well, you're not surrounded, and there will be no one at your sides. Just walls.
Surrounded, and I gesture her to go first.
To the elf woman in front of you?
Yeah, to anybody else who is still here with me.
She looks at you and she's like, I will go last. The others can go ahead, but I will go last.
Fair enough.
So the others kind of just give you a sturdy, mysterious look as they pass you. Most of them are almost fully masked. You can only see their eyes as they make their way slowly by you, and you can see one after another, they just vanish into the wall. And then it's just you and the elven woman standing there, and she just, please.
Then I'll go through.
Okay. Just, it's like the wall's not even there. Complete illusion. You just go right through it. And you can see that there are tunnels, and you can see Katana ahead of you. It's a very skinny tunnel. Like, you can barely fit your massive turtle form in this tunnel. And they start to lead their way through. And then it begins to get kind of complex. It's almost like a maze of sorts of this tunnel. And you can feel that the elven woman is following you. Eventually, you get to what appears to be a dead end, and then you watch as these women keep going through another illusory wall. I mean, it's like,
I'll continue to follow.
You just keep passing. You probably go through about 3 or 4 of these illusory walls as you're headed through these tunnels. Make a perception check.
That's so much better. That is wonderful. 24.
After about the 3rd or 4th of these doors that you pass through, you notice that the corridors start getting a little wider, and you have a little bit more room. There are also other places that you can kind of veer off. It looks more like that this isn't sewer system. This is some kind of structure, something that was built. Definitely man-made of some type. Kind of like almost like a labyrinth of some sort underneath the city. And you keep going, and you notice, kind of out of the corner of your eye, something shift. It almost looks like a shadowy figure, and then it just disappears into darkness. You're not really sure if it was standing or if it was like just, it almost looked like just a shadow being cast across the ground, and then it just kind of drifts into darkness. And it's about that time you hear behind you the elf woman kind of looks over towards this movement. You can hear, keep your guard up. Make sure no one follows. Almost as if she's talking to the shadows themselves. And then you just keep on going. You do notice in the corner of one of these corridors there is this form that almost looks like just a mass made out of air and wind. This kind of spinning vortex that seems to be just hovering in one spot, seems to be just staying still, just kind of waiting for an opportunity to pounce. It seems like these individuals have set up some protection within this labyrinth to kind of keep people from accidentally stumbling upon what's underneath Yartar. And eventually you make your way to a hallway that looks like there are doors along the sides. There's several doors. It's like a door, and then about 20 feet down there's another door, and it's just doors across from each other. Almost like feels like a college dorm room, so to speak, as you're kind of walking down these dark halls. These are lit by very dim lanterns that are covered. It's kind of just like Vix would love it because they're candles, large candles, within these glass lanterns that are just hanging from these, almost looks like hands that reach out from the wall, made out of stone, and they're just grasping these lanterns that hang. So it gives you a very dim light, but nothing really bright. And you see some of the women walk up, they open one of the doors, and they all stop and look towards you and gesture towards the inside of the room.
I gesture for them to go first.
Oh, this is not our room. This is your room. You do look like you could use some rest.
I'll walk through the room.
Okay.
Into the room.
You enter the room. It's actually pretty nice. I mean, there's a bed. Looks rather comfortable. There's a imagine a hotel, slightly furnished.
I put everything in front of that door because I don't trust these women.
Because you're gonna wait till they close it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
They're not gonna know that I did this.
Okay. So, before they close the door, the elven woman peeks her head in just one more time. She says, "Just so you know, we do have pretty extensive surveillance in these areas, but I'm sure that you would appreciate being able to be a special guest of the matriarch tomorrow evening. But it does appear that you do need some rest, and we do have a nice place for you to stay here this evening."
I don't say anything.
No, she smiles at you and then says, "Enjoy your rest." And then she backs out, and you see Katana's glare looking at you as she slowly closes the door. And it's almost like her face just continues to watch you as the door closes in front of her.
I stared directly at her with that same smile that never left my face.
Excellent. And then you immediately start putting furniture up against the door? Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'll start resting.
Excellent. All right. So we're going to go ahead and shift now to Raz, who I believe still is in the guise of Mags, or was it random human guy number 24?
I think we're at random human guy number 24.
Okay.
I should really write down what I look like at the end of each session.
You look like some guy named Dave. I don't know. It's just some guy.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Yep.
last time, you sent your mother to go out the front door with a backpack that presumably she'd filled up with some of her belongings. When she opened the door, someone asked where she was going, and you recognized that voice was from Natalia. But then you hear your mother say, "Ugh. Wait. Trixie, what are you doing here?" And then all of a sudden, this other form pushes the door open wider and just barges in and just walks right in like she owns the place. Pretty tall, but almost dead straight blonde hair that comes down to the middle of her back. Looks like a rather younger individual, but a tall, elegant-looking elf. She looks...
Do I know her?
You have never met this woman, but you have heard her name before. You believe that this is your mother's contact that was the go-between to the matriarch. Your mother never met the matriarch, but you think this woman has. This was your mother's main contact. And she walks in the room. She seems to be looking around, and she looks towards the back. You're at the back door, right? Are you still in the room as this happens?
Yeah, I'm still in the room.
She looks towards you and, oh, it seems you have company. And then she looks back towards your mother as, there are some things that we need to discuss. But she looks back over at random dude number 24 and says, "But I'd much prefer to have them in private." And your mother kind of looks over at you and just gives you a look. Make an insight check for me.
Okay, let's see how these dice do me. 19 plus something. 19 plus 6.
Nice.
That is 25.
You know your mother well. She gives you the look of, this one's up to you. You can either reveal who you are to this woman, because your mother, you probably have the hunch that your mother, she probably knows who Mags is.
Mm-hmm.
Or you also have the noble in the backyard. So she's leaving it up to you on whether you want to stay random dude 24 and stay out of the guy out of her sights, or because I think you have the feeling of the vibe that she'll go on and talk if she knows that you're Mags and a member of the hand.
What? Okay. I'm going to sort of return the nod, or the look, just sort of nod, and say, I'll go get your daughter and let myself out the back. And then I'm going to go out the back door and close it, shove the clothes of the noble and say, you need to leave now. Like, quietly, you need to leave now. It's not safe. I'm very sorry. Just trust me. You'll be safer anywhere but here.
So where do I go? Where do you want me to go?
Go to the guard.
Go to the guard.
They don't have anything on you. Say you were kidnapped. Just go. Say you were kidnapped, you got away. They'll believe you.
Okay.
But hurry.
Okay.
Hurry.
Okay.
Go now.
She just rushes off to the side of the house
and I'm going to change back into Mags and then just pull my cloak around so you can't obviously see that I'm wearing the exact same clothes. And open the door and walk back in.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, you make your way, and it looks like there are now several members in your living room. Some of them are sitting on the couch. Some of them are making themselves comfortable. One of them, Natalia's actually pulled an apple out of like a fruit basket on your countertop and is just like.
I give her a look. Just like
she just watches you. She's just chewing. She's just watching you as you walk by and casting a look at her. She doesn't really seem to, other than just watch you. She doesn't seem. She's giving you that very cocky kind of look. That you Hand of Yartar members like to give each other sometimes.
Yeah.
But it seems like this elf woman, she's not sitting down. She's kind of looking around the room. She picks up a picture frame and looks at it for a second, then sets it back down, and she looks around the room and then looks right back at your mother and says, this was the daughter you were telling me about. Mags, is it?
I just nod.
I've heard a lot about you. A lot of good things.
Thank you. I've heard very little of you. As is the way.
She kind of smiles at you. She looks back at your mother and says, "You're bringing her up right." It seems that some things have happened, and it's changed some of our plans. Looks back at your mother. Tiva, not Tira. Tiva.
Tiva, yeah, like the sandals.
Yeah, like the sandals guy. There has been an incident, Tiva, and the matriarch herself has called for your presence. You've actually been invited to be a guest of honor at a special evening. Let's call it a mixture of a celebration and, I guess, a toast to a new endeavor. It seems that some things have gone wrong the last couple of days. We were unable to get our hands on a few items that were of great importance, and she casts a glance over at Natalia, and you watch as Natalia seems to just take her apple and just put it back down and then turn her head away. And it looks like that elf is giving her a very distinct. It's like when your parents say, "I'm disappointed in you," rather than saying they're angry. It's like that feeling that hits hard.
The
worst. And she basically looks back at your mother and says, "I've actually been sent to escort you. There is a special chamber awaiting you for a nice evening's rest. You also have special attire that's been already pre-purchased for you. And, of course, if Mags, your daughter, would like to come along, there is plenty of room for her as well." Tiva...
Has anything like this ever happened before? Like a special announcement gathering? Do I have any...
You have heard of special gatherings and announcements and stuff. Most of the time, it wasn't extended to your mother.
Yeah,
probably,
I'm just trying to get what Raz's background knowledge would be.
Probably be more reserved for higher-ups and things of that nature. But it almost seems like it's not only an invitation to your mother, but almost like a promotion of some sort.
Okay.
or possible opportunity. So she kind of looks over at you, and she kind of runs her hand through her very short hair, kind of like, just, you can see that she's in deep thought. What do you think, Megs?
I follow you. Where the hand leads, the body follows.
And we shall go. You had an opportunity to get some things ready, my dear?
Yes.
I guess my bag's already packed. And she taps her backpack that's sitting next to her when she's sitting on the couch, and she stands up, throws her bag over her shoulder, and she looks towards Trixie and is like, yeah, I think we're ready. And basically Trixie leads out the door, and a couple of the other hand follow, and it looks like your mother follows behind.
And I pick up my bag and follow her.
And as you're starting to follow, you have a tap on your shoulder.
I stop and slowly turn around.
It's Natalia standing there. She's
Of course it is.
chewing her apple. I'm gonna be watching you.
Then you'll see the new rising star. And I'm just gonna turn and walk out.
Yes! Nice! Oh, take her to school. And
That was a great response.
I'm very proud of that. Normally I don't come up with things that quickly.
She basically, her face goes from like a smirk to just like, you don't really see it, but she's just glaring at the back of your head as you walk out the door.
Oh, I feel it. I know it's there.
It's that feeling like you get warm and you start to sweat. Like you're like, yeah, I just busted her. I know it. And I know
She is the blue to my red, the Gary to my Ash. I know what she is doing.
So you guys all leave the residence. Eventually they lead you, strangely, into the sewers. Into a dark alley. You descend into the sewers, and you move among the sewers once again, Raz, as you had a terrible encounter the last time. But it seems like this Trixie woman knows what she's doing, where she's going. And eventually the same thing occurs to you all, your whole group, as you make your way through several what seem to be illusory doors.
Mm-hmm.
And you are welcomed into... Now, I'm going to tell you this. You actually get welcomed into a much better furnished room than Franklin has. You guys, you and your mother are actually escorted to a much finer and nicer room. With a little bit of an upgrade when it comes to the furniture and things of that nature. It's a much larger room. You even have a separate kind of like powder restroom area attached to yours. It's not like Franklin, where I don't even think there was a place for him. He had like a little chamber pot possibly in his. Nothing much other than that. And you and your mother are entered in the room. It looks to be that there are some nice clothes that are hanging in what seems to be a small closet within the, or small, what do you call those? Not armoire. Is it armoire? Some kind of fancy dresser where you have your clothes or something like that.
I think so. I think that's what an armoire is.
We might have lost Franklin. I don't know. Are you there,
Yeah,
Dalton?
I'm still here.
Okay.
Oh, we can't really see you. You kind of went Minecraft.
Yeah, you went Minecraft again.
Yeah, I see that on the
I'm not
screen
sure.
there.
I'm not
Oh,
sure.
now you're back.
There you go. Now you're back.
Okay.
Discord, sometimes.
What's Provo without technical difficulties?
Hey, if you tune in to Proficiency Bonus, I guarantee you will have fabulous technical issues. I mean, the best.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for tuning in to witness all these wonderful things. And you were given some time with your mother. If there's anything that you want to discuss with her, it seems to be that this event isn't happening till the next evening, and it seems as if they don't want you really wandering the hallways that much. So it almost seems like Franklin, Raz, and Tiva have been kind of confined to your rooms, so to speak. It seems Franklin is okay with that since he barred himself in his room.
Have I ever been to this place before?
You have never been.
I'm going to ask my mother that same question. Do you know where we are?
You know what, dear? I don't really know. I have an idea, but I can't be 100% certain. I'm just as confused as you are right now, but this doesn't typically happen, and she kind of reaches up and grabs her short hair again. I don't think I want to miss out on the opportunity. Do you still have that book?
Do I still have the book?
I don't know. Who has the book?
I don't remember.
I think Vix had it.
Vix had it? Or did Vix,
I think
or
so.
did Vix give it to the noblewoman?
Vic? I don't remember. Jamie.
I think I might have taken it, or Silver
I
might
gave
have.
it to the noblewoman. The noblewoman freaked out and tossed it to Silver.
Yeah, so
Right.
Silver had it.
Silver had it. Okay.
Yeah.
So they have the book now. Okay. I don't, sorry.
Well. No matter. It'll be fine.
There's nothing to tie us to it,
That's
if nothing else.
it's probably a good thing. She smiles and chuckles. So I guess Natalia screwed up. She smiles at you.
I do love poking at her.
You know, I knew going into this that she had such great potential.
She just wastes it.
I thought she could be better. I just did. And she gets her big chance to, go one rung above me, and she just can't do it. I find it kind of entertaining and amusing.
Crumbling under pressure is never a good trait.
That visual image of her face when Trixie looked at her in my house, I don't think I'm gonna.
Oh, I will treasure that.
I don't think I'm gonna forget that for a very long time.
No. No matter what happens, I will treasure that image.
I have a feeling we're not done with her yet.
No, I think you are very right.
Let's just make a deal. Right here, right now. Raz, no matter what happens here in the next 24 to 48 hours, you watch my back, I'll watch yours.
I won't look anywhere else.
And she kind of comes over and just embraces you in a hug. And
I hug back.
And then you guys just, I guess, would just catch up for a while, have some small talk. They do bring food to both of your rooms. They knock and they try to open Franklin's door, and it just...
I don't respond.
You hear somebody just sigh outside. We have a plate. We'll put it on the ground in front of your door. And then you hear like a plate being set down and somebody walking away.
Okay, well, have I at least had an hour to rest?
Oh yeah, this is later on in the evening, so yeah.
Perfect. I'm gonna start searching everything in this room
Okay.
for potential ways out for something as small as a spider.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check. Or let's call this investigation.
Oh, okay. That is, oh, my intelligence isn't as bad as I thought. That's a 17.
17? You kind of search the creases. You're looking. There's no windows in this because you're underground, so you're looking for imperfections within the stonework and things like that. This place is built pretty well. You do find a couple cracks where it looks like two rocks have been placed together and then mortar, just like kind of just stuck together. You think you bless you. Do you have like any cantrips or anything that allow you to like cast light, or I guess you could do druid craft something, or like a little flame or something of that nature?
I can only use druid craft to do it.
Okay.
I mean, unless I have my equipment.
Does druid craft allow you to do something for light effects or something like that? Does it allow you?
It's mostly nature-y stuff.
Okay. You conjure a lightning bug in your hand. And
Conjure a hole.
You as you're looking through these cracks and stuff, it looks like the cracks go for a little ways, but then end abruptly. You don't think there's any way out of this room. The door seems to be the door is made out of wood, but it seemed to be pretty well sealed to the top and bottom of this place. You kind of have the hunch that this could not only be a place that's kind of like a dorm facility for possible people that work with the hand or the hand themselves, but this could also be a place where they could lock in prisoners if they needed to. It's kind of a dual purpose facility.
Okay, well, I'm gonna conjure up some swamp lettuce and eat it.
All right.
Conjure up like a swarm of bugs for Jibby.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Care about him.
It's like Jimmy hops out of your turtle shell and just starts like flashing his tongue out and grabbing all these insects out. Yeah, it's pretty good. Well, it sounds like frog unless you. Well, can you understand it? Even if you have a spell that allows you to understand them, right?
I have a spell, but I just can't understand it all the time.
So he kind of croaks at you a few times. He looks like he's enjoying his insects. And right now, since you guys are kind of relaxing and just kind of in a moment of not really sure what's going on until this banquet, I was gonna maybe just fast forward. If there's not anything else that you guys would do in this time.
I just had one quick thing that Raz would want to ask her mother at some point, probably after they've like shut the lights out and are laying in bed.
Okay.
Just sort of staring at the ceiling. Mother?
Yes, dear.
Did you pit me and Natalia against each other on purpose?
Not at all, dear. Why would I do that?
To make us better. Push us beyond what we thought we could do.
She rolls over on her, like you can see on her bed, and like she props her like head on her elbow. She looks at you and she's like, yeah, kind of like one of those. And she's like, that would have been really smart. I should have been listening to you all along, my dear. But I must say, no. I'm sorry if it came across that way, but that's not what I intended.
It didn't. I was just wondering if it was our own animosity naturally, or if there had ever been a chance for us to be friends.
There's always a chance, but I'll be honest. Natalia was always a very jealous person.
When you were younger, did you have friends?
Yeah, I've had a few. Most of the times those friendships didn't last very long. It's hard to keep friends when you do what we do.
That's the truth.
It's easier to just call them, I don't know, acquaintances or contacts or...
That was always my go-to. Contacts.
Man. Now I'm gonna have to mill that over. I'd never thought of that. Huh. Maybe I could have trained so many more Hand of Yartar members better if I would have listened to you sooner. She starts to
It
roll
can
up.
be self-destructive if it goes too far.
True,
Just a heads up.
but I do like the thought.
Oh, it is a very good thought.
And she
I'll even let you take credit for it.
Oh, I couldn't do that, dear. That would be way out of my. That's just out of my realm. And she flips over like
Saying you're not a thief.
she starts to roll over. You can see a smile starting to form on her face, and she's like, "Gosh, I'm not gonna be able to sleep now for the next hour thinking about this." And then she says, you hear her just say one of the last couple things that she says before she goes silent again is, "No, dear, you were always my favorite." And you guys get a good night's sleep. So if you had any injuries or ailments from the sewer encounter, or any spells gone or wild shapes gone, you get all those back.
I was a whole 3 hit points down from that encounter. Thank you very much.
And after being fed lunch and things like that, you guys, you and your mother have some fitted attire that looks rather noble-ish in your, and you got several choices that you can make, and it looks like they are the size that would fit both your mother and Raz. So if Raz got to wear something noble-ish, what do you think that Raz would put on attire-wise? I'm just gonna let you to kind of describe what you pick out of the closet, because I'm not good with clothing and all that kind of stuff.
And you don't give me any warning? It would be androgynous and understated.
Okay.
That much I can say. Probably, not a skirt, but like, it would be sort of tight-fitted trousers, but with a sort of wrap around it, kind of like a sari, so that there's like that illusion of a skirt, but like much more mobile.
Yeah.
And with very fine black leather boots that sort of wrap very tightly around the calf, and have a very like soft sole, so you're not going to make any noise when you walk, and you can you're very flexible.
Okay.
And a sort of loose jacket that again kind of gives the impression of like a dress, isn't, with a just sort of a basic shirt underneath, probably in whites and blues.
Okay.
Like white and then like dark navy with maybe a few like silver kind of accentuations.
Your mother comes out of the dressing room area. You guys kind of like split up. She walks out and sees what you're wearing and looks at what she's wearing and is like, "Yeah, I like that look better. I'll be back." And then she goes back in and she was wearing something really frou-frou that she found, and it didn't look like it fit her at all. It didn't look like it matched her persona. So she just went back in and it changed again. She's something similar to what you were wearing, but maybe a couple different colors and things, and different flaring things.
I think she would look very good in red.
Okay. Yeah, she was wearing kind of like maybe some deeper reds, like maroons,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
I think that would really
With gold
with
trim.
some gold
instead
trim.
of
Yeah,
silver.
I like it.
Yep.
And you guys are escorted, and you're escorted down the hallway for a while until you're led through a couple other illusory doors, and you end up at a very elegant-looking spiral staircase with golden railings that lead upwards, and a nice, like, bright red velvet covering on the steps as they spiral up, and you can see that there's light shining down from above. And the elf woman that basically was there with you guys, Trixie, she's with you guys kind of escorting with a few other hand members. They're all dressed rather normally, almost like as if you saw them on the street. Like, they're not wearing their like going undercover attire or anything like that, or going on a hit mission or something like that. But they're not wearing anything elegant, so you're kind of making the assumption that not everybody was invited to this.
Mm-hmm.
And you are finally escorted upstairs and into a very grand, what looks to be some type of ballroom, but there are many tables set up within the ballroom. There is a temporary stage set up to one side with a table in the middle and then kind of two tables that are beside it facing this ballroom area, and there are several circle tables that are draped with black tablecloths and very fancy centerpieces. You see around the room there are several people already sitting at these circle tables. They look like a bunch of different adventuring parties, a bunch of different adventuring groups. There's definitely some gaps within the tables, things like that. And as you're looking out, one of them kind of escorts one of them escorts you, Raz, and kind of splits you and your mother off to different tables. It looks like your mother...
I do not like that.
It's almost like your mother has been invited to sit up on the stage, but unfortunately you have not been invited to sit up on the stage.
I am going to look to her for direction.
She gives you a look, but then looks out towards the audience area, and then her eyes get a little wide, and then she looks back at you, and then looks back out.
I look where she's looking, and I assume I see a giant turtle.
Franklin is sitting at one of the circle tables, and it looks like he is already eating something. It looks like a big pile of swamp lettuce that's in a bowl on his table. He's the only one currently eating anything.
I'm also still naked. I'm not wearing anything.
He's not wearing any clothes. He just got his shell on, and he's...
Are the other guests wearing nice clothes, or...?
They look like adventurers. Like, the other guests look like adventurers. The ones at top on the stage look like they're rather well dressed. But it looks like several elves. And they're all...
Wait, is my mom an elf?
Your mom is not an elf. There are a few...
Okay, just checking. I was like...
There are a few others that are kind of mixed in. And the adventuring...
Shout out to Maxine. Oh gosh.
The adventurers, they're assorted races of all types. You can see that they definitely have weapons sheathed. You see some with bows and quivers. Variety of different races. And yeah, you can see Franklin sitting there. There's also two others that are sitting at Franklin's table. They're kind of just like watching him right now as he's the only one eating. They don't know where he got the swamp lettuce from. But yeah, he got served before everyone else.
I just grew it on my shell like I always do.
He's plucking it.
And your mother seems to be okay with that, and she's kind of surprised seeing Franklin there because she had heard you say that they were all dead.
As far as I knew, they were all dead.
So she's... I
am equally surprised. Okay.
And
I do look around for Vix and Silver.
no sign of them. Go ahead and make another perception check, though, as you're looking around.
That is an 18 plus something. 6. I like these dice. These are good dice. Franklin, I recommend that you get some little dragon core dice. They're rolling real well.
I was looking at them earlier when it wasn't my turn to speak, and I kind of liked the aquamarine one.
There you go. Yeah, I like those ones, too. Those are really good.
Yeah.
That is my birthstone, so...
There you go.
There you go.
Sorry, so I rolled a 24.
As you're being escorted, it's kind of funny because you're being escorted right to Franklin's table. There's an empty chair right next to him, and this woman is taking you right there. But as you look up towards the stage area, one of the women kind of turns her head and looks out towards the audience for a second. Doesn't make eye contact with you, but you immediately recognize her, and it's Lady Palir, the one that you told to go to the guard. She's up on the stage, sitting in a nice, noble article of clothing, and is sitting up there. Not in like the center seat, not like the center seat, but just off to the side on one of the little side tables. And then,
how does she look? Has she been harmed? Is she?
She looks fine.
Does she look like she fits in?
She kind of does.
Fuck! Michael! Damn it!
The plot thickens, my friend.
Raz is pissed. She's like, the two people I would have called friends died for you.
And she's.
I like how those two friends don't include Franklin.
You can die, okay? Oh. You were still an acquaintance. I'm sorry.
Franklin,
you said
No,
too many
that's
bad
fine.
things
Franklin's
about
been
me.
a butthole.
Yes. As you're sitting there, Franklin, you can see the chair next to you gets pulled out by looks like another woman, and then you see there's I guess would you look like Mags as you're going in here, Raz? Because that would be what you would come in as, probably.
You've broken me, Michael. I don't know what. She's just like spamming other faces. She doesn't know. No. That would be an interesting thing to happen.
I'm just trying to gauge what Franklin sees when he looks up at you as this chair is being pulled out for you to sit down at the table.
I think like it would be Mags, but it also wouldn't be because I think unconsciously, and she's been doing this since forever, whatever she's wearing does affect how she looks.
Mm-hmm.
And so like Mags has taken on sort of more noble features to sort of match the outfit. Essentially, it's like a mechanism to just make her, like, she unconsciously makes herself look like she fits the clothes.
Would it be enough that Franklin would know for sure that it was you?
I mean, as long as he doesn't roll a nat 1, yeah,
Okay.
probably.
Go ahead and make a what will we call this? Insight, perception.
Yeah, I'd say like DC 7, like not too hard, but
Go ahead and make perception.
Well, if it's insight, I don't.
Make a perception. We'll call it-
Perception?
Yeah, because you're basing off.
Okay,
A look.
that is.
Yeah.
16.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
You can tell it's Mags, but definitely looks different.
I ignore her existence.
Okay.
I am also ignoring his existence and just like staring at the head table at Lady Polier, staring daggers at her.
Derek,
Mm-hmm.
you are feeling a high amount of tension at your table. Can you describe your character to our audience as you are sitting at this table that all this is happening at?
Sure. He wears a leather tunic that no sleeves. He wears also black undershirt. And he's got dark purple hair that kind of fades into his like natural hair color, which is kind of like a light brownish color. Very tan. Elf, definitely an elf. He has gray eyes, no facial hair. He has a longbow sitting at the table or leaning up against the table right next to him, and two quivers, one on his back and then one on his left hip. And then he's wearing just common clothes, looks like clothes you would wear for traveling, and then some like leather guards on his legs.
Awesome. To your right is a fellow companion of yours. Jamie, will you describe your character for our audience?
Sure. I'm 7'6". My skin is actually like a very short silvery fur. I'm very slender and I don't have any muscles really. His face is kind of slim. He looks kind of like koala-y with a well-trimmed beard. He's got braids that come off of his bangs and feed into bigger braids in the back of his head. His hair is a deep purple that fades to silver. His robes are black with hints of purple and silver through them. He just has a silver staff with purple crystal on the top that kind of looks like a snow globe. And his robes have like ripped sleeves kind of that show like a spiraling tattoo that just forever spins down his arm. It's mostly black with little streaks of gold in it.
Awesome. So now this table has been filled, and you guys are just kind of looking at each other. And Dusk and Zin.
I do not look at Mags. She doesn't exist.
I also do not look at. I would be memorizing the faces of everybody at the high table.
Okay. Dusk and Zin, you definitely are feeling the tension at this table. I didn't know if there was anything conversation-wise that you two would be having with one another as you're waiting on dinner to perhaps be served.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sensing a little bit of something going on here. Do you all know each other? Seems like you. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading the wrong thing here. Hello, my name is Dusk. I reach out my hand to both of them, see if any of them takes my hand.
I'll grab his hand, not knowing what he wants me to do, and just say, "Hi, I'm Franklin."
Oh, nice to meet you, Franklin. And you are?
Mags.
Well, all right, Max. Good handshake. This is Zen. He's my companion here.
Hello. Is it a thing to not make eye contact at this table?
I don't know. They also don't seem very talkative either.
If you want me to get us away from him, I can.
I mean, I don't think that's a good idea.
All right.
I apologize. I've had a stressful week.
Yeah, we almost got lost coming here, but we found it.
It was a very long
Almost
walk.
late.
Super late.
Where are you from?
Somewhere.
All over the place.
Anywhere.
Not here.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Vaguer answers I've never heard. Wonderful. Ever been to the city before?
Many cities.
Not this one,
Ever
no.
been to? Thank you. And how did you get invited to this little gathering?
By an envelope with a letter in it.
That is true. No, I have some connections. I'm kind of a hired hand bounty hunter kind of thing. So, do you know what's going on here? Actually, the letter was kind of vague.
I probably have very little more information than you do. As I did not receive a letter, so I have nothing in writing.
Oh, what about you, big guy? I'll look up at Franklin.
I was forced to attend.
Oh,
We're at the table
Well,
for
then.
outcasts.
yeah, yep, it seems so.
Makes sense. We were late.
Just curious. Can I have some lettuce? I mean, it looks kind of interesting. Never had it before.
I grow some more on my shell and then I hand it over.
Sure. I try it. Yum.
Franklin, how would it taste?
I just used Druidcraft to grow it.
It's magically delicious.
After a bite, I just kind of like hold it over to Zen, see if he wants it.
I take a small piece and I just put it in my scarf. I'm also wearing a big silver scarf. I put it in my scarf. And you hear like little munching in my scarf, but like, that's it.
Well,
Now I'm just imagining Avatar, like how they have the tail, and it's just like your brain ends in like this little mouth.
Oh gosh, so good. As you guys are having this conversation, eventually some food is brought out to you, and it is amazing food. I mean,
I don't.
lobster tail, steamed lobster tail, with some kind of buttery sauce that goes with it. sides of steamed vegetables of all sorts. You brought out a nice salad that looks like it's just has all of the nice vegetables and other gardening things put in it, and just I don't eat salad, so just imagine a nice salad. And just basically just an amazing noble meal. Trays of bread rolls and just all kinds of different things are brought out to you. Fresh wine is poured at your table for each one of you that would like it.
I don't drink it.
Okay, and there's also a nice glass of
Dusk,
water,
dusk.
ice water.
I also drink it.
I don't drink that either.
Franklin is he's betting that someone's trying to poison him here.
I asked for apple cider.
Anything that Franklin doesn't eat, I try to like sneak away from him, or if he got wine, also try to sneak that away from him too.
Okay.
Just start eating it.
I
and
don't
drinking.
care if he takes it. So
Perfect.
I take
It's like,
My shirt was in.
I take the lettuce out of like somebody's, like I guess Franklin's bowl since he's not eating it, and I like sprinkle it into my scarf, and then I just fold the scarf over. And you can see like shifting in the scarf. Yeah. Yeah.
As that happens, I'm gonna look over. Do you have a friend?
Who?
Me?
I have lots of friends. He's my friend.
Yeah, we're friends.
Yep.
Do you have something living in your scarf?
Living's a bold. I mean, I guess maybe magically
I just
living.
imagine him.
explain to
I just imagine him taking his wine glass, opening up his scarf, and just going, just pouring it in.
I just like whisper down into my scarf and a little like sugar glider, but it's like super shiny, like sparkly, shimmery almost. He just like peeks his head out, nods his head at you, and then goes back down into the scarf. He's a familiar.
Figured. That is adorable. And I eat very lightly. Like, I try some of everything because I mean it's very good food, but
Mhm.
I don't like gorge myself. I eat until just before full.
Yeah, and you're probably so upset that you would probably lost most of your appetite anyway.
Yeah, I'm also just mad at you.
Y'all got some sort of like bad history,
That's what I'm
breakup,
picking up on also.
child, something.
Excuse me?
Wouldn't be the first time.
If you must know, we have differing viewpoints.
I mean, everybody has differing viewpoints.
Mm-hmm. You know,
Without
your height plays
ever
into a
looking
factor
at
of that.
Raz, I keep that same smile, and I simply said, "She left us to die."
Ah, that story.
Well,
Seen that before.
I mean, you're not dead though, so I mean,
Yeah, you made it.
that's good.
Congratulations.
2 others have died.
Sorry to hear that. That happens, though.
Yeah, it's part of life.
Yep.
It's unfortunate.
But it happens.
I was saving a noble. You were
Oh.
dead. There was nothing I could do.
I don't acknowledge what she said to me.
Oh, I don't direct it at you. I direct it at the table.
Noble cause.
I see what you did there. It's great.
Thank you. Thank you.
And as I then am gonna look up at the head table. But it seems as if none of it mattered.
It's actually as soon as,
And-
Why is that?
soon as you look up at that noble table, you hear what sounds like harps begin to play. And then walking, a curtain is kind of opened up behind the main table. And it seems that 3 very fancily clad noble women start to make their way through the curtain. And it almost seems like everybody at the head table that had filled a seat comes to their feet, and they just start to clap like a noble's golf clap almost, as they're coming near. And you can see there are three beautiful elven women. The one in the middle, blonde hair that's kind of crimped and curled, wearing a lot of makeup that appears. She definitely looks like she is probably, probably not of. I'm struggling with elven years, so it'd probably be kind of like in her, 150s, probably elvish wise, 200s maybe. I don't know. Would that be young but not like super young? I'm kind of trying to find a good middle ground for her. As she walks in, she's wearing just this very, very nice dress. It looks like it is clad and it's sparkling. It almost looks like it has like gems inlaid in the actual dress itself as she walks in. And you notice she's carrying something in her hand. Franklin and Raz, you recognize it as a medallion or necklace that you saw Silver wearing.
Oh.
And she brings it towards the table as people are clapping, and she's kind of, someone pulls out her chair for her, and she stands there, and she's like, she addresses everyone, and she smiles. She looks out to the crowd and says, I am so glad that each one of you is here.
Glad to be here.
And she just looks over at the table, kind of awkwardly.
Big thumbs up.
And then takes this medallion and kind of sets it down onto the table beside her. Please enjoy this meal. We are here to celebrate, and we are also here, well, perhaps to give you a future reason to celebrate as well. We have opportunities, and each one of you could play an important role in those opportunities that lie ahead. But right now, it's about eating, drinking, enjoying one's fellowship with one another. Welcome to my estate. You are in Foxguard territory now. Enjoy it. And she sits down in her chair. Somebody pushes her chair underneath, and you notice she starts eating as well. And the rest of them are she is just all smiles up there, Raz. She is just enjoying it. Lady Pelir is sitting 2 people down from her, and you notice that she's engaging in conversation with the lady as well, and they're,
Wait, is Fox, is that where the invitation came from?
It was.
As soon as she sits down, I stand up and start walking towards her table.
Towards the stage?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll follow.
As you get to the stage, there appears to be 2 women that just like stand in front of the stage stairs and just stand there, and they cross their arms like this. And
I cross my arms too.
They don't move. They just stay there and just stare at you.
I don't move either. I stare right back.
Is there something you need?
I was waiting for you to talk first. Okay, so basically, I just heard her talking about that, like, stuff, like information and, like, job-related stuff. I'm kind of interested in hearing about that. Not really hungry. Don't really care about dinner. Just want to know what's going on. So can we just skip to that part?
Lady Foxguard will let you know when she's ready.
Then I think it's better for us to actually just go back and sit down. Personally, I mean,
But you know how it is. I really hate being at these things.
Yeah, same. So do I. But you got to do what you got to do.
Hey, speaking lady.
Yes?
Can you tell us more about the information, please?
Were you talking about the guard who's standing there speaking to you? You're talking about the
No, I'm calling up onto the stage.
the noblewoman just kind of gives you an awkward glare. She's still smiling in the process, and then she looks towards one of the ladies that's standing next to you, and the lady's like, "Please go sit down."
This is so frustrating.
I start to pull him backwards with on his hand, just trying to.
You're getting tugged back by Dusk towards your
I go back to the seat.
Once he sits down, I'm gonna smack him in the back of the head.
you gotta reach up.
Yeah, that's why I said wait until he sits down to do it.
Funny. At the end of the meal, the woman rises once again, and she begins to address the people that are with her up in the front, and she's like, "Tonight we celebrate a joining of two noble houses, a mutual agreement, and we're excited that all of you could join us. I know this part doesn't really involve many of you." Or any of you for that matter. But it felt like a good reason that we could have a grand celebration. You see, the Foxguard estate and the Palier estate have joined in a mutual agreement and alliance. And the Palier estate and its local business and all the things that entails have now been signed over to Foxguard. We're excited about this because it's going to be great opportunities. When we put our resources together, it's going to create so many more opportunities for us than we could ever imagine. And she addresses Lady Tiarchi Palier to stand up. This is Lady Palier herself. She has gone through so much heartache over the last several months. She has
You hear a thunk on the table as I slam my head into the table, waiting for this to be over.
Everybody, all the other adventurers kind of just, you hear the rumble of chairs as they all kind of turn back towards your table. It's like that, oh crap, he's embarrassing me again. And she kind of continues to push through, and it seems like all the other noble individuals are starting to clap and applaud this Lady Palier as she stands in front. She has lost her husband and been through such terrible heartache. It was only natural for me, with my good heart, to reach out to her, to help her, and to help her get through all this.
I would like to insight check this whole thing.
Sure, go ahead.
God, I love these dice. That's a 25.
25. Yes, there is definitely some type of it may not necessarily be 100% lying, but it's embellished truth, that's for sure. It's what
I figured that I wanted to check.
It's you would know enough about Yartar to know this is a noble play. This is what nobles do.
Okay. Thank you.
And she just goes on and celebrates that. They begin to clap and applaud. The Palier boathouses will now also be available to Foxguard residents, family members, and for our use in our local business. So we are just so excited about that opportunity. And eventually they clap, and it seems like she starts to hug some of the nobles, and a lot of these noble women, including your mother, are escorted away behind the curtain. And it's just you guys all sitting in tables with her and, a few of those women guards that were standing beside the stairs. But she stands up there and she's like, "For all of you, thank you so much for being a part of our celebration. But for all of you, I need to discuss this. And she reaches down and grabs this amulet and holds it up. And you can see it dangling back and forth in front of her.
As soon as she holds it up, I conjure the same thing in my hand, just so I can get a better look at it.
Sure. Yeah. I can't exactly remember how I initially described it to Derek like months ago. So I think
No, this is just for my character, and so our table can see it better too.
it's an amulet. It's something. It looked like possibly. It looked like, I think I explained it something as it looks like a dragon at the end of it or something like that. But then it looked broken at the end. Like there was something about it that looked like it was missing pieces. And as she's holding that and she's looking out to all of you, this is extremely important. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Oof.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have some new characters in the mix. We have some tensions in the room. We have terrible, terrible noble people. And drama to the max going on here. So, we got to get out of the way because Mystic Hour is coming up next. I believe Christy is doing Mystic Hour tonight. I think so. I think she said she was getting.
I think so. She said, yeah.
Christy, if you're still in chat for us, are we doing a different episode or is it going to be another like let's play? Let us know in chat so everybody who's hanging out with us tonight can hang out for a while. And Mystic Hour should be starting here in about 10 to 15 minutes as Christy gets ready for that. Anybody have anything else we need to add before we call it a night for this evening?
I apologize for swearing. I blame Michael. And get some little Dragon Core dice. They rolled real well for me.
Excellent. Yeah. Check out Little Dragon Corp. Make sure you do that.
Also, no insight check this weekend.
No insight check this weekend. So we'll be out insight check. But this weekend's going to be busy because we do have Dirty 20 is going to be on Saturday. So we got that going on. We also have Storm King's Thunder tomorrow night, and all the I think Tomb of Annihilation on Monday. They're in the like last chamber, like last boss fight. So if you've been missing that, you want to definitely check into that as well. It's gonna be exciting. So until next time, folks, don't forget to add your proficiency bonus, and we will see you for next week for episode 27 of Delve and Dash. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.